All right, you're tuning in because you want to make some serious waves with your social media, right?
Definitely seems to be the goal for a lot of people.
And in 2024, that really means diving headfirst into video.
All right.
Instagram Reels, they're just, well, a powerhouse for visibility.
Absolutely huge right now.
Speaking of boosting your profile, just a quick note.
Hmm.
If you're ready to really push things forward, maybe get that extra edge, check out rapidboost.net after we wrap up here. They offer services to help your profile get noticed.
Good tip. But today, our focus is really foundational, isn't it?
Exactly. We're doing a deep dive into mastering Instagram Reels editing, specifically for beginners.
Yeah, and this isn't about needing, super fancy gear or years of editing behind you.
Not at all.
This is really for you listening, whether you're maybe an entrepreneur showing off your work or someone just passionate about something you want to share.
Or maybe you're just curious about short-form video, but the whole editing thing feels a bit much.
Precisely. A little overwhelming sometimes.
So our mission today is basically to pull out the key actionable techniques from mastering Instagram Reels editing for beginners.
Right, so you can create reels that don't just get views, but actually connect with people, get shared.
Okay, let's kick things off then. Why should we even focus so much on the editing part of Reels? Why is that so crucial?
Well, all the material we looked at is pretty clear. Reels aren't just some passing trend anymore. They're fundamental for reach on Instagram.
And video content is just dominating this year everywhere.
It really is. And the short, snappy nature of Reels. Perfect for grabbing attention when everyone's scrolling so fast.
So it's more than just hitting record and, I don't know, hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Seems like the source really stresses that extra effort in editing.
Yeah.
Even just using the tools on your phone. That's what makes it stand out.
Exactly. And it's not just a feeling, there's data. The info suggests that good editing can actually lead to a pretty significant jump in engagement.
How significant?
We're talking upwards of 22% more engagement compared to just, standard unedited videos.
Wow, 22%. That's substantial.
It is. And that 22% isn't just random. Think about it. Good pacing respects the viewer's time, right? Smooth cuts keep them watching. Using text while reinforces the message.
Stops the scroll.
Exactly. Stops the scroll.
That makes perfect sense. And that increased watch time, that's like gold, isn't it? Because the longer people watch...
More likely Instagram is to push your reel out to more people, maybe even land you on the Explore page.
Which is the goal for many.
Definitely. So editing basically lets you communicate faster, clearer, and, well, with more punch. Those first few seconds count for so much.
Critical. Effective editing makes sure your point hits home fast and sticks.
Right. And what's great for beginners, as you mentioned, is that Instagram itself actually has some pretty powerful editing tools built right in.
Yeah, you don't need to immediately jump into complex software.
No, not at all. The material really emphasizes that mastering those built-in tools is totally achievable for beginners, and it can make a huge difference.
Okay, so before we even think about hitting record, what's the first step to make editing easier later on?
Preparation. It sounds basic, but a little planning up front saves a ton of time and, honestly, frustration later.
Not necessarily writing a full script, but having a vision.
Exactly. The material suggests sketching out maybe a simple storyboard, or at least defining a clear goal, like what do you want this reel to do?
Educate, entertain, inspire, sell something.
Yeah, any of those. Even a super simple structure helps, like intro hook, main point, call to action, keeps it focused.
Because every second counts in these short videos.
Yeah.
You want maximum impact.
Treat each second as valuable.
Okay, planning first. The info also mentions some technical basics before filming. Lighting and sound.
Oh, absolutely crucial. These basics really affect the final look and feel, and they minimize how much fixing you have to do in the edit.
Saves headaches later.
Totally. The guidance suggests simple things like using natural light. Face a window if you can. Avoid having the window behind you.
Right, the silhouette effect. Nobody wants that.
Exactly. And sound is just as vital, maybe even more so.
Yeah, muffled or noisy audio is an instant turnoff.
Right. So the source advises using your phone's mic, but in a quiet space. Or maybe consider a cheap clip-on mic. They can make a big difference.
Good audio, good visuals, sets a solid foundation, cuts down on editing pain.
Absolutely. And one last quick check before recording. Camera settings in the app.
Oh yeah. Reels are vertical, portrait mode, make sure that's selected.
And use the highest resolution your phone offers. Best quality you can get.
And the simplest tip, but maybe the most overlooked.
Wipe your lens.
Seriously. It's amazing the difference a clean lens makes.
Yeah.
Gets rid of that haze.
It really does. Okay, so Concept-ready, light and sound-sorted camera set. Now, the actual filming. How can we film in a way that makes editing easier?
The key takeaway here seems to be capturing footage that's easy to work with later. So the main advice is shoot in short, focused clips.
Right, instead of one long take.
Yeah, break it down. Each little segment focuses on one idea, one action.
That makes total sense, because then trimming and rearranging is way simpler, right? You have these neat little blocks to work with. Easier to cut mistakes, easier to shuffle the order.
Definitely. And the source highlights a really cool in-app feature for transitions, the Align tool.
Ah, yes, that one's great for those seamless outfit changes or before and afters.
How does it work exactly?
So after you record a clip, you tap Align before starting the next one. It shows you a kind of ghost image and overlay of the last frame you shot.
Oh, so you can line yourself up perfectly for the next shot.
Precisely. Creates that super smooth, almost magical transition. Looks really polished.
Very cool. And for solo creators, the timer tool sounds essential.
Yeah, set a countdown, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, hit record, and you've got time to step back, get in position, grab a prop.
Hands-free recording. Opens up more possibilities for movement.
Definitely. And one more piece of filming advice, which I think is great for taking the pressure off.
What's that?
Record multiple takes of each scene.
Oh, that's smart. Don't aim for perfection on the first try.
Exactly. It's much less stressful knowing you have options. You can pick the best bits during editing instead of feeling like you have to nail everything live.
Love that. Okay, so we've planned, we shot our clips thoughtfully. Now, the main event, in-app editing. What are the absolute must-know techniques for beginners using Instagram's editor?
Okay, first up, trimming and rearranging. This is fundamental.
Getting rid of the fluff, putting things in the right order.
Exactly. You'll see your clips as little previews at the bottom. Tap one, and you get sliders to trim start and end, cut out mistakes, awkward pauses, anything that doesn't serve the story.
And then just drag and drop to reorder them.
Yep. Tap, hold, drag. Simple as that. This is where you really start crafting the flow, making it tight and engaging. Keep that viewer hooked.
Okay, trimming and rearranging. What's next? Effects and filters.
Yeah. Instagram has a ton. AR masks, color filters. The advice here is to choose ones that fit your brand or the mood you're going for.
But don't overdo it.
Right. Subtlety often works best. A light color grade can enhance things. An AR effect might add humor. But, use them with purpose.
Makes sense. And text overlays. Crucial, right? Since so many people watch with the sound off.
Absolutely vital. Use the A icon to add text. You can use auto captions for accessibility, which is great, or type out key points yourself.
And the timing matters too.
Big time. The source suggests staggering the text, making it appear right when it's most relevant in the video. It guides the viewer's eye, reinforces the message.
Like little visual cues. Then, music and audio.
Yep. Tap the music icon, huge library in there, or you can upload your own sound.
Choosing the right track can totally change the vibe.
For sure. But importantly, if you have speaking in your reel, use the mix tool. You gotta lower that music volume so people can actually hear you clearly.
Good point. Don't drown out your own voice.
Never. And finally, playing with speed controls. Slow-mo, fast motion.
That can add some real creative flair, can't it?
Definitely. Slow motion for drama or highlighting an action. Speeding things up for like a time-lapse effect or just for comedy.
But check it first.
Always preview. Make sure speeding it up doesn't make it impossible to understand, or slow-mo doesn't just drag on.
Okay, those are the core in-app tools. Now, how do we level up slightly? Make things look a bit more pro, but without needing, like, a film degree.
Yeah, the material covers some advanced beginner-friendly tips, things that add polish. One is getting comfortable with split edits and jump cuts.
Okay, explain those simply.
So split edit is where, say, the audio from one clip continues over the visual of the next clip, or vice versa. Makes transitions smoother, less jarring.
Like your voice carries over a cut to a different angle.
Exactly. Jump cuts are more abrupt, cutting within the same basic scene to remove pauses or speed up an action quickly, often used in vlogs.
And the source mentioned matching action, like snapping fingers for an outfit change.
Yes, that uses the cut cleverly. Tossing something out of frame in one clip, catching it in the next. Those kinds of matched actions make cuts feel intentional and slick.
Nice. What else?
Well, while the Instagram editor is good, sometimes you might want more control. The source mentions third-party apps like InShot, CapCut, VN Video Editor.
These are usually free or low cost, right?
Many have great free versions. They offer more options for, say, detailed graphics, specific transition effects, maybe adding stock video overlays.
So you could edit the bulk there, then import to Instagram for final touches.
Exactly. Best of both worlds sometimes.
Now what about stickers, polls, quizzes?
Don't underestimate those. Tap the sticker icon. Adding interactive elements like polls, quizzes, countdowns, it really boosts engagement.
Is people tapping and interacting?
Which signals to Instagram that your content is interesting, keeps people watching longer too. The example was a fitness coach using a poll, which move was toughest. Smart way to get feedback and interaction.
Clever. And finally, intros and outros.
Super important. That first second or two has to grab them. Stop the scroll.
Look at what's working for others in your niche.
Good place to start for inspiration. And the outro. Don't just let it fizzle out. End with a question, a clear call to action. Comment below. Or tease your next reel. Keep them engaged.
Encourage those comments and shares. The algorithm likes that.
It really does. Okay, so you've edited this amazing reel. It looks great. But you still need to optimize it for reach, right?
Yeah, posting it is just one step. How do we maximize its chances?
Well, first, that caption. It's not just an afterthought. The source says use it strategically.
How so?
Ask a question to spark comments, tease the content, use humor. And if it fits, naturally weave in some relevant keywords. Like if you're sharing editing tips, mention Instagram Reels editing techniques for beginners.
Helps people find it through search and hashtags. Still important.
Oh yeah, very. The advice is to use a mix.
A mix, like what?
Think trending hashtags that lots of people are looking at, maybe like hashtag summer style. Niche hashtags specific to your topic, like hashtag vegan baking tips. And maybe a branded one just for you or your business.
So not just generic ones like hashtag Reels.
Use some broad ones maybe, but get specific too. Hashtag DIY home office, hashtag travel vlog tips.
Yeah.
Connects you with the right audience. Aim for maybe 7 to 11 hashtags. Don't go overboard, but use them smartly.
Okay, good mix of hashtags. What about when to post and how often?
Timing and consistency. Instagram likes active creators. Post when your audience is most active, often mornings, early evenings, but check your own insights.
And consistency.
Aim for at least 3 reels per week if you can. It builds momentum, tells Instagram you're serious, builds that profile authority.
Right, showing up regularly. And finally,
Analyze. Check your reels insights. See what's working.
which ones get the views, the shares, the saves?
Exactly. Look for patterns. Is it a certain style, topic, effect? Learn from what resonates. Treat each reel like a mini experiment.
Adapt and refine based on the data.
That's the way.
Okay, so putting it all together, the source kind of outlines a practical workflow, right? 6 steps.
Yeah, a clear path from idea to post.
Can you recap those for us quickly?
Sure. Step 1. Plan. Simple outline, maybe a storyboard. Know your goal.
Step 2, setup. Good light, clear sound, clean background.
Step 3. Shoot in segments. Short clips. Use timer. Use a line.
Step 4, edit with intention, trim ruthlessly, order effectively, add text, music, effects. Preview.
Step 5. Polish for consistency. Keep colors, fonts, style aligned with your brand.
And step 6, optimize and post. Catchy captions, smart hashtags, post at the right time, and engage with comments.
That's the loop. Plan, shoot, edit, polish, optimize, analyze, repeat.
To make this concrete, the material mentioned a real-world example. Emma, the food blogger.
Yes. Great case study. She apparently grew her followers significantly, like from 200 to over 2,000 in just 3 months, focusing hard on Reels.
Wow, how did she do it? Using these techniques.
Pretty much textbook. She's storyboarded recipes, used split edits for those quick cuts between steps, layered text captions clearly, used a mix of trending food hashtags and very specific recipe hashtags.
So her editing made things look easy and appealing.
Exactly. Approachable, but polished. Made complex recipes seem doable. That led to tons of saves and shares. People found value.
Her success really drives home the main point then.
It really does. Mastering these basic and maybe slightly more advanced but still accessible editing techniques gives you serious power. You can create stuff that genuinely boosts your visibility.
So the big takeaway is, focus on planning, film smart, use the tools you have well, and optimize your posts. That's how you turn raw footage into stories that actually connect.
Absolutely. It's about transforming clips into compelling narratives.
Which brings us to a final thought for you listening. Now that you're armed with all these insights,
What kind of story are you going to tell in your next reel? And maybe more importantly, how will you use editing, even simple editing, to make it truly stand out, to make it unforgettable in that endless scroll?